This moment is different from the day before it. This moment is different, it's now.
Hello and welcome. This is John Struggledork, struggledork.com. This is tape 4 of Fuller Thinking, Brain and Mind. Let's go straight to Buckminster Fuller and see what he has to say about the brain and mind relationships.
Mind and mind alone reviews the total inventory of experience and from time to time finds something running through all of them. As for instance, if you had a stack of punch cards, they're all the same perimeter size, say 4 by 5 inches, full of holes. Look very random to you and I. Stack them all up vertically with guides to the edges and put a light below, and suddenly you see 2 holes through which light comes through. Those 2 holes are constant to every card. This is typical, we call a generalized principle. It holds true in every case. So to deal in the generalized principle, this absolutely abstract, weightless phenomena. And as far as we can find out, no animals employ those generalized principles. What is really seen to be unique about man is his mind. It's only the mind that looks over all those punch cards and suddenly finds the hole through it. Man was designed to be an extraordinary success. His characteristics were just magnificent. And what would be necessary would really be to find out what were the great comprehensive patterns operating in the universe, how then the metaphysical man as mind could become the master of the physical. If then it takes 8 minutes for the light to get to us from the sun, and takes 2.5 years for the light to get to us from the next nearest star, and this star I'm looking over here, the light is just reaching me from a show taking place 300,000 years ago. So I'm seeing a live show taking place 300,000 years ago. There's another one, hasn't been there for a million years, that star. So they said the universe is not an instantaneous aggregate. It is not then a static instant system. A universe must be thought of as an aggregate of non-simultaneous and only partially overlapping events, where everything is continually transforming. The universe is omnidynamic, is continually transforming at different kinds of rates. A scientific generalization is a pattern which has been discovered to hold absolutely true going through every case. There's no exceptions. As for instance, I'll give you a typical one. We have a man going through the forest, and he's climbing over trees, old fallen wind-blown trees, and he's climbing over one when suddenly the one he's on, he feels it sinking rather slowly, and he retreats a little and it doesn't sink, and then goes back, sinks, and turns around to see what's going on. He's lying over on top of another tree, and the other end of his tree he's standing on is under a very great big tree, and he suddenly sees that great big one lifting. And he goes over then and tries to lift that big tree with his muscle, and he finally can't budge it. So he thinks the tree he has over here, which is lifting it, is a magic tree, and he drags it home. And he keeps it there, and all the family and tribe worship it for 1,000 years. And suddenly somebody discovers that any tree will do. That's what we call then the principle of leverage. That's a generalized principle. And for I'll just show you. I just take this little very light board, and I'm pretty lightweight. This big log has been lying here on this beach probably for 10 or 20 years, hasn't been moved at all. So I'll just see what I can do with it. There goes the big tree lifting. Very much more than my weight. So I'm balancing. This is where a man then demonstrates what he calls advantage.
Hello, hi, and welcome back. The last word that Fuller said in those clips that I showed you from his video Spaceship Earth was advantage. And as a systems and process designer, I really want to know, what is my advantage? And if I start from the advantage, I design forward. And as I understand it, we have this advantage of having a brain and a mind. And as Fuller explains it, and as I understand it, the brain is an organic form, expanding, contracting, storing, and retrieving. So we have all these experiences, and the brain is starting to store them. On the other hand, the mind has no form in its stream of consciousness, relating and interrelating processional movements of the universe, all the energy moving, all the flows, and we start to understand that. The conscious mind always streams. It's always streaming information that's stored in the brain, and it streams my awareness and presence. And it's my awareness and presence in the universe in every ephemeral timed measurement. Ephemeral means short-lived. So we're constantly storing all these short-lived memories and we're streaming them back and we're starting to make relationships and interrelationships. And what that says to me is it allows me to focus and I have the potential to change habits, my habits. So in the design of a business, I may want to change some aspect of my business and I have to be constantly aware of what's being streamed. And if I'm aware of that, then I can make some focused decisions because ultimately business is about making decisions. Then I look at this thing called subconscious, and I think the subconscious brain runs stored programs. And those stored programs aren't measured in time, they just run. And so what Fuller would call those is ephemeralization. Always there, and there's no time measurements. They happen when they happen because there's this beautiful design that's regulated, and it's regulated by stored programs. That's my thought, and of course I'm open for debate on it, and of course I want to learn more, and any feedback would be appreciated. And as Fuller would say, Fuller thinking brain mind, human mind have a unique cosmic function, not identifiable with any other phenomena. The capability to act as a local universe information harvester and a local universe problem solver in support of the integrity of eternally regenerative universe. We're always regenerating. We have generation after generation, and each generation goes a little bit further, knows a little bit more. And as Fuller would say now, we know a little bit about something. So until next week, struggle to work out.